What is up, everybody? Welcome back for another video. Today we have a special guest with us. We have Tommy of Green Rhino Carpet Cleaning. You may have seen him before in one of my past videos where I actually went to California, did a ride along with him. But today we're doing interview style. We're gonna get to know him a little bit more and get to know a little bit more about his business. So Tommy, thanks for joining me today, brother.
No problem, my pleasure.
So if you can just give everyone a little bit of background on yourself. So you know we all know you're in the carpet cleaning industry, but just tell us a little bit about you. I mean, kind of like your story.
Well, California guy here, small town. Kind of grew up on the lower end of the spectrum of wealth. So no role models. You know, I didn't have any role models growing up. Actually, I did have role models, but they're all negative role models. My family was more of hustlers, you know. Hustling passed it on to me, but I was smart enough as I got older is to turn that hustle drive that people on the street people have and turn that into a legit hustle, you know. And as soon as I opened my eyes, you know, and bring my attention to the legit side of hustling, man, so much more opportunity opened up. You know, my father, you know, was in and out of prison. Just one of them childhoods. You know, I don't want to go back into all of that, but I had no inspiration, no role models to lead me into the right direction. I didn't even know that, you know, all I needed was a high school diploma just to get into college. I thought if you got a high school, only the rich people went to college, pretty much. So I never followed through with college until I got a little older and got trade school. And for some reason, the trade school just kind of gave me a light bulb effect. And I was just looking at the people around me and just realized, man, I'm a nerd in here. You know, I was just soaking it up, and I just realized I like to learn. And then I see an opportunity, and I just ran with it, and I went through multiple different things until I finally decided to put my energy into carpet cleaning. You know, I've always had a carpet cleaner because my first jobs growing up as a kid was doing carpet cleaning, but this was 20 years ago, Stone Ages, okay? As far as carpet cleaning, chemistries and everything, and machines. So I had this old carpet cleaner, and I used to do side stuff for people, you know, and just a side hustle, but it wasn't nearly a side hustle. It was like I do a carpet once a year for somebody, you know, until I turned it into a real side hustle, and that side hustle turned it into what I'm doing now, you know. And you know, life kind of is tricky, you know. I mean, you open one door, another door opens up. You open that door, another door opens up. So I never thought I'd even be sitting here talking to Isaiah, you know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people can probably relate to your story. You know, from growing up with a difficult childhood and going through different ups and downs. So you've been doing your carpet cleaning business now full time for, is it 2 years or is it 3 now?
2 years full time.
Okay, 2 years full time. So what are some of those things you were doing before it was full time? Like, I guess, career wise, job wise, or any other side hustles you had?
Okay, so first part of my life, I was in and out of different jobs, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. You know, just kind of taking what came my way, and then I luckily got a job through one of my friends being a machinist. So that was a secure job. It was a trade, but it was a trade I hated. I never liked it. I only stuck with it because, you know, I got pretty good at it, and it paid me more than what most people are going to pay me. So I stuck with that for years and years and years until I found out that you know, this isn't going to get me anywhere. I'm always going to be an employee. I'm not going to be able to step up, you know, as far as buying a house or anything like that. It wasn't paying me enough. Although more than some of the people around me, but still, it was a wall, right? There's a limit to what you can do when you work for somebody else. You don't have that freedom to grow as much as you want. So I stuck with that, and then I started doing the carpet cleaning on the side, on the weekends, after work, one or two jobs a week. But you can be surprised with 1 or 2 jobs a week will get you, so. Yeah.
What's been the importance of like when you realize you want to make that transition, and what's been the importance of really taking the time and like prioritizing the time to like build that business while still having your job? Like what did that look like for you? Like, was it like like you had to get out of this position and like you was willing to do whatever it takes to to start beginning that transition? Like what did that look like for you?
Well, luckily, I had my career, right? I had my machinist job, right? That was security for me. That was something that's gonna, pay my bills, right? Never too much more. And I knew that, all right? That's my crutch. That's there. So while I was working, I actually, machinist is pretty boring a lot of times. You're letting the machine run, so it can run between 5 minutes to half hour, right? So you got half-hour runs. So I used to get my cell phone, put on my headphones, get on YouTube or whatever learning platform, and I'd learn. I mean, I go to school every day, pretty much, learning chemistries, how to build my business, how to build my foundation. So what I did in that year, in 12 months of having that side hustle, or year and 2 months, I'm sorry, 14 months. And as I built my foundation, so I built my website, I started working on referrals, right? So whenever I did a job, I made sure that customer loved me to where they're going to hire me again, to where they're going to tell their friends. So I built that, I built that relationship with my customers and turned my customers into clients. And that's the main thing that people don't understand in the service industry. A lot of people want to go in there and get out of there and get to the next job. They're not spending that time to build a relationship with their customers. That's what keeps them calling you back. And that's what's going to keep any business, especially the service business, growing. It's from building that foundation, repeat customers, building those relationships. So that's what I did.
So when did you realize that? When did you come to the point to where you decided to take it full time? You're like, okay, this is, it's time for me to go ahead and be done with this job. While you're building a side hustle, obviously, you probably started getting consistent customers. When did you just go ahead and fully bite the bullet and was like, okay, now it's time to like go all in on this, and this is going to be what pays my bills fully?
Okay, so this is a funny thing. With people, maybe it's never the right time. All right, you're always a little too scared. Sometimes you just need a kick in the butt. All right. Well, that's what happened to me. I had a 2-year goal, and 2 years is, people think, a long time. 2 years, give yourself a 2-year goal. But again, I had my security there. I wanted to do it right. Gave myself a 2-year goal. Well, 14 months into that 2 years, my boss walked up to me and said, "Hey, man, I can't afford to pay you no more. Can't afford to pay you no more." Everybody else had already been let go. I was the last man standing. And I had been the last man standing for the last 6 months. So literally gave me 3 days. He couldn't pay me. So I had 3 days to go, oh, no. So I knew I had this side hustle, my carpet cleaning. I knew I'd been working at it, but I wasn't sure that it was going to pay my bills. Well, that Monday came around. All that work that I did, and that's also all the work that I did, is exactly what I teach in I got a course. So all the work that I did paid off at the right time. It's like the moons lined up, phone started ringing. Never work for anybody ever again. Never will. Never had more time on my hands to do whatever I want to do. Yeah. I told Isaiah I feel retired. Because it's kind of like I always thought when I get older. I'm never going to fully retire because I'm the type of person that got to keep my mind working, because I don't mind. It's the devil's playground, right? And that's, it comes with depression, all this stuff. So you got to keep something focused. So I always told myself, I'm never going to fully retire. I always have something on the side. So it was like, I retired working for, people, started working for myself. It's more like a hobby now for me, and I can keep building on it. So.
And I'm sure too, running this is more um, you probably have more. I assume that you would have more happiness too now in this path than when you were working for someone else. Um, Obviously, as long as you said with time. A lot of people find that transition from going to, working 9 to 5s in that world into entrepreneurship very scary. What are some things you would kind of tell someone right now who may be in a similar position and who's worried? Because I know, especially now the times we're in right now, is a lot of uncertainty. A lot of people are, having time finding jobs or are people getting laid off, hours getting cut back. What's some things that you would tell, or some words or some tips you would give somebody right now who may be, going through a similar situation?
Well, I mean, I was on a Facebook group last week, and it was a carpet cleaning Facebook group, and there's people that are trying to get into the business, and and one of the questions they asked was, when is the right time to quit your full-time job and go into the full-time, which you're the carpet cleaning, pursuing your business? And I said, well, when it doesn't make any more sense to work for your full-time job. If it just doesn't make sense, if you do the math, right, and it just doesn't make sense anymore, you can make more money being solo or pursuing your own business than working for these people, and you have extra time on your hands. It doesn't make, sense anymore, then go for it. But my number one recommendation is never quit your job and dive in. Okay, keep your job, keep that. Okay. It's like having a credit card. It's right there. It's something for emergencies, right? It's there. It's security. Your full-time job is security. Work on your side hustle until it makes sense, and then go for it. I mean, being last 2 years, right? Think about it. We went through a pandemic, and I'm convinced the service industry, is an awesome, awesome business model, because especially the cleaning. Think about it. I slowed down for literally 2 weeks at the beginning of the pandemic, and then the phone started ringing again. And last year was my busiest year. Okay, it's been stepping up every year, so it didn't slow me down at all. So that's another thing to think about too. Is if you're nervous about, what if this happens? There's always what if. What if your boss came up to you and tapped you on your shoulder and said, "Hey, he gotta let you go"? What if? What if I didn't prepare? Build my side hustle, and he did that on my shoulder. Where would I be now? Wouldn't have been good. Wouldn't have been good look at all for me.
So far, what I've gotten out of that has been one, and which I'm a huge believer in, is number one. No matter what you're doing right now, life-wise, whether you have a business or whether you're employed, I think there should be an emphasis on having a side hustle or multiple streams of income, so that you're not dependent on whoever it is to have your whole life in their hands. I think a lot of people, it's a false sense of security sometimes, having that job. Just like you said, it's secure until it's not. And a lot of people, that don't prepare for that. And so I think if anything they can get from this video, just, from this so far is as a wake-up call, is start right now. Be willing to bet on yourself, but go ahead and start now. Start diversifying while you still have that safety net, while you still have that job. Because what you keep saying is, people ask the question, when is the best time? And there's the popular saying that the best time to plant a tree was, 10 years ago, and the next best time is now. So, just getting started now, I think there's I think you're very right on that point. It's just, you have to start now and, and build it while you still have a job. So I think the other lesson in that too is time management. A lot of people come home from work and they turn on their TVs, or they just put their minds to sleep. And I think, people like yourself, it takes that extra motivation, the extra kick in the butt that says, you tell yourself, like, I got to continue to work. Like, there's no time to, to just venture off or let your mind wander. How important has mindset been for you on your entrepreneurial journey so far?
Mindset is always feeding yourself with education. Always feeding yourself with inspiration. If you're getting into the carpet cleaning, watching, whatever you're doing, power washing, watching videos on power washing. You know, that's always picked me up when I was kind of feeling like a little, you know, shaky or unmotivated. Uh, that'll always pick you up. You know, you get motivated from other people. It's that energy just kind of reflects back at you. You know, and just use that energy, somebody else's energy, just feel for yourself. You know, um, I think that in general life, maybe people go through depression and stuff like that. But really, it's just you get a focus what you're focusing on. So I think pursuing something like this really helps with your you know, mindset. Definitely.
Nice. So 2 years in, you know, it's been your bread and butter. Things are going, you know, things like you said, business has its ups and downs, but you know, you haven't had to go back and get another job. So that's, you know, it's a beautiful thing too. Like once you know, once you go through those first few months of being self-employed fully, and it can be a little bit scary, but then you start to get a foundation built out and it becomes, you know, manageable and things are pretty, you know, you got systems in place and you sort of have an expectation. So now 2 years in, what are some of your goals for this year as far as like what do you want to do next with your business, or like, you know, which direction are you headed?
Well, with my business, my carpet cleaning business itself, I'm just expanding my services. I'm focusing, targeting, uh, well, focusing on more tile cleaning and hardwood floor cleaning. You know, hardwood floor cleaning is really picking up. Truman Stevens, one of my mentors, you know, one of the people that I binge watch his videos and stuff, you know, and I kind of roll my or base my business model after him. So he's somebody that I always kind of, a lot of people do really, you know, he's like the number one guy in this industry on YouTube. Um, as far as being a veteran, um, so expanding my services, basically, is what I'm doing and pushing it a little bit more instead for just carpet cleaning. So that's my goal for this year, as far as my business itself. And it's growing every year because every year my customers turn into clients. So, I mean, I had 3 calls today, right? And they were all repeat customers, you know? I mean, the season's picking up and all the repeat customers, right? So if you think about it, every year that goes by, you're going to get more and more repeat customers. So the busier and busier I'm going to get. So, um, you know, making sure I keep my professionalism, you know, yeah. And as far as other things, you know, I mean, my YouTube channel turned into a entrepreneur channel really because I'm teaching everybody all over the world. I mean, there's people that email me from uh, Germany, you know, I mean, all over the place. I'm so surprised all the time, and they're actually watching my videos and growing their business. So I'm kind of a mentor. So I'm gonna do a lot more of that too. So
Nice. That's awesome. So let's get into a little more of the tactical stuff. So for people who are watching this and like, you know what, I think I want to maybe, you know, dabble in carpet cleaning or, you know, or start this business. You know, what does that look like? So I know you have a bunch of videos, and so anyone watching this right now, guys, all his information will be attached, so you can go to his channel. He has tons and tons of free videos, and also, you know, a paid program we'll talk about at the end of this that you can look into as well if you want to learn more. But just for the sake of this video, someone wants to get started right now. I know from you know talking to you and the experience now, so there's 2 routes pretty much you can go, right? There's kind of almost 3. There's truck mount, portable, and then VLM. Can you just talk about some of the differences between those 3?
well, VLM, an easy way to explain it is chem drive. Most people have heard of chem drive. You know, what they do is they bring out this buffer, they put a pad on there, and they clean your carpets, and it doesn't leave it as wet as hot water extraction. That's just another method. Okay. Steam cleaning is steam cleaning is actually the old word for it, but it's really hot water extraction. So you got truck mount, you know, costs some money. You can do what I did, buy used, or you can get a portable. Okay, so that's more of a hot water extraction kind of does. You're shampooing your rugs, you're laying down your pre-spray, and then you're rinsing it. You know, really good. So those are the 2 methods really. As far as startups, okay. people are surprised. If I would have knew this a long time ago, I would have started VLM. I mean, I know there's a tribal thing, in case you didn't know. You're going to get people that say, oh, VLM sucks. And then you're going to be VLM sucks. Hot water extraction sucks. And it's like a tribal, it's really ridiculous, you know? It's stupid. I do both. I offer both to my customers. So I'm picking up. Like there used to be a chem dry here. They moved out, so I'm getting all their business. So lucky I'm offering BLM. But for BLM, if I was to lose everything today, somebody stole my van and everything I had in it, I go right down to the janitorial shop. I get a 175 for $700, and I wouldn't miss a dollar. I'd be out there fulfilling the jobs I already had lined up, and then I would save my money up, and then I would build up, maybe get a portable so I could do, better enzymes or water extractions. Okay, and then I would get my truck. I build myself up, and that's exactly what I did in my business. And it took me a year to go from a horrible portable to a better portable to a truck run. So it's possible, guys. I mean, people think, oh, I'm never going to be able. No, it's possible. I mean, $100 minimum an hour is what you can make. I make between $100 and $400 an hour just carpet cleaning.
Wow.
That's because you got enzymes and treatments, pet stain, pet protections, stuff like that.
So that kind of hits another point too, is having a bit of a sales funnel too, increasing the average ticket size. So having those extra things.
That's it. I mean, that definitely it. I mean, you go into a house for straight carpet cleaning, and I'd say I charge $220 for 5 rooms. Okay, that's my charge. But they have pets, and they have pet stains all throughout the house. So you go in there with a light, it's bad, it smells. So you do an enzyme in each one of those rooms. So $40 a room. So you just added $200 on top of that $220 ticket. That's $420. Take me an hour and a half to do. So you do the math.
Nice. So going back real quick to the VLM, very low moisture method. If I wanted to right now start a VLM, carpet cleaning, what how much cost would I be looking at?
Okay, so if you want to have all the tools you need for VLM, $1,400. I recommend getting a 175 buffer. It's the cheapest, effective. They're about 17 inches, so you can go. It's got the weight. Then I would get an Oric Orbiter, which is $350, and then your pump up sprayers and your solutions. So between $1,200 and $1,400, you can have your own carpet cleaning business. Now, think about it. That's specialized equipment. Okay, so it's really hard to think about. I mean, you got pressure washing, that's kept compatible, but think about another business. You can actually start your own business and be a professional carpet cleaner with equipment in there, right? And for that low dollar amount, you can actually start off with $500. I do have a YouTube video that I'm saying you can, if you only have $500, get some Orbiter, pump up sprayer, and a vacuum. You're in business, but people do that. But I don't suggest. I think you need to have a 175 and Orbiter. I do that when I do low moisture. So.
Now, when it comes to that method, though, is there any difference in like customer perception? I know a lot of people, when they think of carpet cleaning, like as far as like customers when they call, they probably already have kind of like in their mind picture that is steam cleaning. So, do customers kind of like feel a way about that, or do they not care?
You're always gonna have some people that feel a way about anything. It's just service industry and different people. Only a few times I've ever had anybody question the method, but never anybody not like the results and wasn't happy from the end results. So there are some people that won't use it, but when they call you up and you say, well, what method do you use? VLM, oh, I don't like them. So you just, book the appointment. That's fine. But if you offer, is when you're advertising on Facebook or whatever, doing your cheap advertising, which there's a lot of different ways you can get your name out there. Advertise low moisture cleaning. and they're gonna know what to expect when they call you. There's no surprises when you show up to their house. And on top of that, if you're knowledgeable, you just let them know, hey, you know, I got a 100% money back guarantee. If you're not happy with the job I did, then I'll give you the money back. And I've never had to give anybody money back. So.
Wow. Okay, so let's fast forward then. So I bought my equipment, whether I went portable, truck mount, or VLM. What's it looking like for me? How do I get my first customer? How do I get my foot in the door? How do I get my name out there?
So how you get your foot in the door is it really depends on how hungry you are. When I first started out on the weekends, I'd go walk around for about 2 hours and go door to door and give free estimates. That way is really powerful. Okay. So if you go to a nice neighborhood, I mean, 3,000 square foot homes, right? So you want to go, you want to target your customers, right? You don't want them picking you. You want to pick them, and you do a walk around for a couple hours. You book 2 appointments. Doesn't seem like a lot, but we're talking $1,000 worth of carpet cleaning. Okay, so that's a way that I suggest everybody do from the beginning. On top of running Craigslist, I know it's, you know, Craigslist, but it's even better now because they're charging. Why is that better? Because they're charging. They're only charging $5 or something like that. Because not everybody's posting now because they're always charging. So it's opening it up, right? Not everybody's doing it. So when people are on there, you know, there's more chance that they're going to find you. There's Facebook. You know, you start your own business Facebook page. You let all your friends know. There's so many different avenues doing that. Word of mouth. Give out your cards. Think about it. If you only do one job a week, and you got an average of say $200, that's low balling it really. $200 a week. That's $800 a month. So that's your car payment, and you know that's stuff that you can, you know, pay it. Increase your give yourself a raise pretty much. You know. So yeah.
So what about a lot of people? I think too, when it comes to like the service industry, a lot of people, especially if you're brand new to it, a lot of people have a little bit scared of disappointing customers, especially if I'm brand new. If I go out and buy the equipment, I've got my first customer, I'm doing my first job. You want to come off as a professional and as the expert, but how do you? What if it's my first job? I got a paid customer. You know, they want to let me. They're going to let me do their carpets. Are you upfront about, hey, like, you know, you're a new business, or like, you know, because there could be some disappointment. If it's your first job, there's a chance that you might not be doing the best work that you can do. Obviously, like I look at my own business, like over time, like when I started, you know, I started with, you know, just really cheap equipment, really didn't have much experience, and really didn't even know how to set expectations. And so, like, I look back at some of my old work, I'm like, dang, like that was kind of like slouch. I thought I was giving my best then, right? And I truly was giving my best at that time, but my best has improved. So, like, as a new business owner, like, what can you do to, you know, to bring the best results to the table, and to, you know, if, like I said, if it's your first few customers, it might not be, you know, those could potentially be callbacks. How do you deal with that?
Well, it's going to be like that regardless. You know, there's days now that I did so many tile jobs. You know, if I get a big tile job the night before, I'm like a little nervous or whatever. I'm not, you know, but once I get there, you know, everything goes smoothly, right? But you're always going to have that, you know, it doesn't matter. But this is the thing. If you're prepared, if you educate yourself, if you follow people that just copy what somebody else is doing, right? And you're prepared for that situation. So it's going to make you feel a little more confident. On top of that, just present yourself as a professional, okay? Collared shirt, you know, I say that all the time, but if you go in there and carpet doesn't come out looking so great and you're in your shorts and a tank top, right? And the same results, carpets don't look so great. You have a collared shirt on, you're looking professional. They're going to trust more that it was the carpet than the technician. So presentation, and just doing it over and over and over again is just going to make it more more, uh, more confidence. And what I did, what I'm doing in my YouTube channel is there's almost 400 videos of me going through the process every day. So you watching me every day, it's like doing a ride along with me, right? So you're seeing every scenario over and over and over. It's kind of in your brain. On top of that, in my course, I give you all the ingredients, all the solutions, exactly what I use. So you just buy what I use, put it in your van, your truck, or whatever. And that's what I use every day. If you're using that every day, any situation you come across, that's it. And I also give pointers on different kind of carpets that are a little tougher to clean, or sometimes you may think it's dirty and it's just worn fiber. So stuff like that, little tips and stuff like that. Preparing yourself and doing a job once a week and do it on your friend's house, mother's house, practice makes perfect. So
getting that practicing. That's awesome. So that kind of leads me to another question, because I'm in a lot of these groups too, and I've seen how do you deal with difficult customers? Because I know, especially specifically with carpet cleaning, is that the result is like it's an industry where the result may vary to where you never know if you're gonna be able to get everything out. How do you set those expectations with customers going in? Because people might have a lot of times. I think what happens is too. It's like the people with the worst carpet have the highest expectations. They think because they're calling a carpet cleaner up that they're gonna have new carpet at the end of the process. How do you set the expectation and be upfront with customers?
Well, the first thing you do is when you go there, you do a walkthrough, and you never guarantee. So if you see stains or heavy wear trend, you say, "Well, I can't give you a guarantee everything's going to look new again, because you could have worn fiber, You put those things out from the beginning, worn fiber. That's the number one thing. People think they got worn traffic areas, all right? You let them know, and then you see a red stain. Well, I'll clean it. I can't guarantee. Just never give any guarantees. Okay, just don't do that. From the get-go, let them know when you do the walkthrough. And then when it's done, and if it comes out better than expected, they're always happier than expected, and everything's great. But if it doesn't come out, then they were told, and that's it. And every now and then I'll have a difficult customer. Every now and then, rarely though. It's kind of like the way you treat them, it mirrors, right? So if you're really distant and non-conversational, and you go in there and you don't set up expectations, you're done. They're not happy. They're not happy from the get-go, really. So just setting it up, all right. Let them know the real expectations, and then do your best on it, and that's all that could be done. And what I always tell people, if even if I'm not so happy with the results, but I know it's fiber, but I wish it could come out looking better. I always tell them, you know what? If I can't get them clean, nobody can. So if you hire somebody else to come here and clean your carpets, and they do a better job than me, and they can get it looking better, I'll give you your money back. To me, it's nothing, right? If they call me back, I need my $200 back. Here you go. I'd rather do that than them give me a bad review or something, And that right there, when you say that too, they're gonna be all right. Well, he must
be wow, that's powerful. I think you brought up a great point too. I think a lot of people miss in business. People get caught up in just the things like of having looking professional, which is great, and having a marketing plan. But I think little things like is being likable and being personable plays a really big role too. Something I learned a long time ago. I forget who said it, but like people buy and people shop with people who they like. And so honestly, like being likable is a big does play a big factor. And you almost become your customers almost see you as friends and not just somebody who's servicing their house that they're just going to be done with.
Absolutely. I always remember before I go in the house. I always look at the work order. Remember let me close the door. It's getting a little loud.
Sure.
Wife's talking in there.
Okay.
Always remember the customer's name, and I refer to the customer by their name. I'm building a rapport. You know, hey Mike, you know, how you doing today? This and that. Hey, Mike, can you come? You know, can you come check this out? You know, I'm building up a rapport. That's what I do. Some people say Mrs. You know, this and that probably right in some situations maybe. But I kind of like build up that rapport with people as far as for the first name basis. I think it really works.
Nice. Have you read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People?
No, but I've heard of the book.
Yeah, well, that's one for you guys who's watching right now who you're thinking to yourself that you need to improve on, being more personable, and becoming more likable and being improve your skills with engaging with people. I highly recommend How to Win Friends and Influence People. Is a very powerful book that I'm actually rereading right now. And honestly, I asked you, did you read it because it goes over some of those things that you're saying right now. Of like one of the things he says in the book is one of the most important word to any given person is their name. And so one of the big things about talks about in the book is how powerful just remembering someone's name is. And I know a lot of times I have to catch myself and be mindful when I'm meeting people because I know all the time we'll have interactions and we go through the motions of like, hi, nice to meet you, what's your name? And we get it, and no sooner than they say their name, it's already blanked out of your head. And so and I realize that happens to me all the time. And I realize part of it is that you're so worried about, your end of it, and what you're going to say. You might be, it could be sometimes because you're nervous or whatever it is. But like, just being mindful and like literally remembering somebody's name. I think you made a great point on that. Like that's something it's super simple, but it makes a huge difference. And like, so I'm sure we can all relate to the feeling of someone that we met and then we might see them again down the road and they remembered your name and say it back to you. You feel like, wow, like, you kind of have like, it's a little feeling that you get like, wow, they actually remember my name. And so you feel good. And so the same way it makes, you and I feel good, it makes that person feel good too. So that's a good one that, that I think I'm glad you hit on is literally just remembering the name and just engaging in some conversation, showing that you're a friendly person, especially I think too, like, you're in people's homes, they want to make sure they have somebody who is, friendly and whatnot in their home so that, don't be, sketchy, look professional, talk, engage, and show them you're a decent human being. I think that's great.
Yeah, definitely.
So we talked about getting into the industry. We talked about BLM, how to get your first customer. What would you say are some of the mistakes that new business owners makes? Let's see the top 3 mistakes new business owners make.
New business owners?
Yeah, people getting into it could be if you want to reference it specifically to carpet cleaning or some things you think just in general that new entrepreneurs make.
Well, maybe spending too much money right at the beginning. Thinking all of a sudden next week you're gonna be crazy busy and this and that because you had a few, 1 week that was good. Spending too much money at the beginning and not investing in that money for the things like advertising, things to get your business going. Building your foundation more than just equipment. Okay. That's one thing. I've known that through different businesses that I started and let go. I went too far in and then let it go. I just like throwing money up. I didn't like it. So all that money, that I put into it was pretty much wasted. But to me, everything's a learning experience. So I learned off that. To tell you this now. Don't go all in as far as money right away. Be easy. Okay. That's why I give you different options. Moving up carpet cleaning industry. With a truck mount, you're definitely going to make more money because you got different services you can do. But you step it up. So don't do that. Don't quit your job until you're ready. So you built your foundation. And number 3, build your foundation. Build your foundation. I say that all the time, man. If I never built my foundation, I wouldn't be here. I'd still be winging it. You don't want to be a business that depends on new customers. Okay. You don't want to be that type of business, price shopper business. Build your foundation. Your foundation is your customer base, your presence on the internet. Finding, be smart with your money too when you're doing that. Because, I'm number one, and me and Yelp are fighting number one in my area. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I built my website myself, from GoDaddy. And I did all the SEO and keyword words and stuff like that. Just getting online and learning it, doing it myself, built it up. So you can easily spend thousands of dollars on a website. You don't need to. So just be smart with your money.
Love that. So guys, those are 3 great tips for you guys to remember when you're first starting off. And so now, as we wrap things up a little bit, tell us a little about your program that you put together. Like I said, you have a bunch of free videos on your channel, but then you recently put together a program. So kind of tell us about what's in there. What do you go over? And who's it for? Who's it geared towards?
So I have hundreds of videos, right? Which is pretty much a ride along, okay? So you just watch my videos and you can see how everything's done in the process. And I show my professionalism and what I do, right? But I always got questions, comments, what solutions do you use? How do you get business? And this and that, right? So I go through all that, and I decided to make a course, So I have videos and information in my course that kind of tells you from the get-go, step by step. So at the beginning, I tell you, listen to these or read these step by step, because you want to do it in order, okay? So I teach you, first off, recommendations on equipment, right, on different budgets. All right, so in case you don't have your equipment yet, I teach the chemistry, exactly what chemistries and where to get the chemistry from, so way you can be prepared. Like I said, being prepared, and I show actually in the course how to use some of that chemistry, like get rid of red stains and stuff like that. Then I go through building your foundation. I show you how to build your foundation inexpensively. Okay. So you go from building my foundation to just more and more information on anything else that and what I do in my course too, it's not like a one-all deal. All right, I add content. So you come back next week and there's going to be another content. Something as things evolve. Like I found out some really, really cheap ways to get your name out there that I just recently found out. So I'm going to be adding that on there shortly. I mean, it's really, crazy as far as the exposure you get for pennies. Right? So that's just another example. I'm just going to keep adding stuff. So education as far as pH, as far as knowing what carpet fibers or what's safe to do, natural fibers, synthetic fibers, everything you need to know. Become a carpet cleaner and build your business, and giving yourself a reasonable time frame. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's going to happen. It happened for me in 14 months. I'm nobody special. So I'm just actually passing on what I did step by step. That's all I could do. That's all I could do.
I love that. So guys, if you're interested in starting a carpet cleaning business, definitely tap in with Tommy. Like you can go, you can spend hours upon hours, Googling the internet, searching forums and groups, trying to, collect this information, or you can just go directly to a source, someone who's experienced, someone who has results, and get your question answered right there, instead of like spending all those hours and running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Like guys, you can go to somebody who has experience, and that's going to put you that's going to put you at ease. And this is really how you buy time. This is how you grow your business faster. Is that, the best thing to do is learn from mistakes, but they do not have to be your mistakes. So learn from someone else's mistakes. And that's how you gain speed in your life, versus you can take, you can be arrogant and be like, what, I don't need to go, to his training or anyone else's training. I'm just going to learn for myself. And while you can do that, do you want to take 5-10 years to do, learn all these things? Or do you want to go directly to somebody who's already made those mistakes and who's going to show you how to do it the right way from the first time? So I think that's super important. That's a lesson that, if I could go back in time, for my own business that I would have, tapped in, with different people and, industry trainings and people who had, programs available, who could help me get the result I want faster. So definitely tap in with him, his program, and also go to his YouTube channel. If you don't even have, any money to spend on anything else, hey, he has a ton of free content and you will definitely learn from that as well. So, regardless of where you're at, he has resources and content education for you. So Tommy, well, the last thing I want to get from you before we end this, wrap this thing up, if you could leave us with either, a quote or a word, just something for the people, to keep them going. Anything you want to share, whatever comes to you, to your head first, or whatever you want to leave them, honestly.
Quote. Stay hungry. It's never too late. I started late, compared to most people. I'm not going to throw out my age. Okay? But it's never too late. Okay?
Gotta do research, guys.
Google it. And the number one thing, I do have a very, very important. All right. Once you got your mind set on something, say it's carpet cleaning or pressure washing or anything, okay, keep it here. Keep it here. Keep it in right here, close to you. And talk about it with everybody. Talk about it with only people that you need to talk to. Okay, like say if you have a wife, right? Husband or whatever. Other than that, keep it close and work on it, because believe it or not, that negativity that usually comes from the people closest to you will really veer you from where you want to go. All right. It's a reflection of what they think that they can do. Right. So sometimes they think, they may be helping you out by, trying to scare you on this and that and that. And that. That's why keep it to yourself, because you'd be surprised. I mean, there's a lot of attraction stuff, right? You bring in negativity to you, negative things happen, right? So keep it close to you, and you'd be surprised how different things just seem to fall better in place than having other people coming at you. And you might get a negative thought and detract, and maybe you don't go through with it. And then 5 years down the line, you say, I shouldn't have listened to them people. Just think what would have been now. So to me, that's very powerful.
I love that. So guys, just a recap: stay hungry. Keep your goals and things you want to do. Keep it close to yourself. Don't tell everyone, because people can, negative people can kill your dreams really fast if you let them. And continue to educate yourself, continue to grow. Guys, want to thank Tommy again for coming on here today and just talking with us, sharing the story, and dropping some education for us. Tommy, where can they follow you at? What's your YouTube channel called? Where can they keep up with you?
Green Rhino Carpet Cleaning. Just type in Green Rhino Carpet Cleaning. You'll see something in there, and go ahead and subscribe and learn. It's education. All the free videos is education itself. Once you're ready to take that next step, then you go ahead and get on the course.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you again. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. And Tommy, once again, thank you. Thanks again, brother. This has been very valuable.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man.
Yes, sir.